Hi folks, it's Andy. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In this series of videos, I basically take some footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to me. We watch it together. I give you some feedback. And hopefully, everybody benefits. We've got a couple of videos today. Excuse me, got a bit of a frog in my throat. It is. We've got a Shiai video, and I think we've got like some Jigeiko video. So we're gonna have a look. We're gonna have a look at them both. We'll get to it in just a minute. Before we do, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below using the word Kendo so that we can increase the Kendo population by 762.4731 gigazillion. I think is the correct term, actually. Misspoke there. People in the next 12 nanoseconds. If you do that, you must use the word Kendo in your comment, though. Because if you don't, they might like all start something like else other than Kendo, right? That's how YouTube works, basically. It sends out ninja robots to go and get people to start Kendo. But it's based on the comments that are left, so you have to use the word Kendo. This is the best Kendo channel I've ever seen. What a great Kendo video. Something like that, all right? If you don't, then what we might end up doing is get all those people like starting something different, you know, like darts, canoeing, rock climbing, karate. Yeah, we want them starting Kendo, yeah. That's not fishing, that's Kendo. Okay. More importantly than that, if you like this video, if you like the videos I put out, whether it's these, the Q&A videos that I do via Kendo Rant, filmed a new instructional video. It's coming very, very soon. We did the interview the other day with Yukio Gata Sensei. What a brilliant interview that was. We've got analysis videos, all sorts, and it's all free of charge. All you have to do to support it, it's a real win-win, is shop at KendoStar.com, and KendoStar is the best Kendo website in the galaxy. Now, of course, I would say that because I own the place, right? But it's the best quality equipment with the best possible service. You're going to shop with us in the end anyway, so don't buy twice, buy right first time round, and shop at KendoStar.com. Okay, let's get to these videos. First one says, hi Andy, I'd like to submit one of my recent matches at a competition I was in. I think this is from the same competition that was in last week's submission. I've been doing Kendo for nearly 3 years, okay, and I've only gotten to a point that, thanks to all the feedback I've gotten from various sensei, especially you reviewed one of my older matches. Oh, good, thank you very much, that's good. I'd like super harsh and straightforward feedback. It always seems to make the most sense to me. I'm red in the match. Thank you so much. Okay. We'll see how super harsh I can be. We'll see. All right. I'm trying to be encouraging, right? But I know, you know, when I do give this feedback, anybody that submits a video, by the way, I would just make it clear that, you know, any harshness is, I don't want anyone to take it personally. And I appreciate you said you'd like it to be harsh, but, you know, it's never personal, you know. I want the best for you, and I really want you to improve, and I want people that are watching this video to find benefit in it as well. And that's why it's really important that I identify stuff that's easy for you to understand, and sometimes that means I have to put it in a simplistic format, which might come across as harsh. But please, I don't ever mean it to be sort of derogatory or negative. I want the best for you, and I want you to improve. But the problem is in my experience, lots of teachers struggle to give direct feedback in that way because they're worried about how it might be received. And I don't want you know, that's why I'm saying this, because I don't want you to receive it in a negative way. Anybody that ever submits to this or watches this sort of thing, I want you to know that it's coming from a place where I want the best for you, and that requires sort of an honest evaluation of the situation so that you can get moving in the right direction. Right, so let's get into this.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So this is from a tournament. Title of the video says Open Dan category, so I guess this is a Dan grade tournament. I think I know what tournament this is. I think this is a university level tournament. You're the red one, so let's have a look. This player here. Okay, let's have a look. Right, so first off, I can see straight away in your Sonkyo, you're sort of slightly leaning to the left. All right, so it's a really tiny thing, but having the good Sonkyo already portrays your sort of ability to your opponent. So if you improve your Sonkyo through a better posture, because your head's in front of your hips here, have a good straight posture, good kamae really as you lower into Sonkyo, it will straight away start to have a psychological effect on your partner. Okay, so here you nearly lost the point. Now, it's a shame because you hit first here. I can see that clearly. Yeah, you hit first, right? But I see it wasn't super accurate, but I mean, it's still within the you know, strike zone. And then their strike also hit you, all right? But you sort of, there's no kime or zanshin from you to convince the Shimpan to lift for your side, or to make it look like your ippon. Luckily, they weren't able to receive the ippon either, so. Right, let's have a look at this. So, as much as possible, your feet don't want to be flat on the floor. All right, your left foot here is flat on the floor, even in Super Zeriai. You want the good footwork even in Super Zeriai, especially in the Super Zeriai. Okay, so you lost the degote here. Right, and I'll tell you why this is, right? Listen, your technical ability is good, your form is good Kentai no Ichi, but your strike is super predictable because you go like this. 1, 2, 3, like this kind of. The rhythm's really predictable. 1, 2, 3 sort of thing. All right, sort of thing. There's no outcome here that indicates you're gonna hit at the kote. All right. And in a way, it looks that you decide you're going to hit men and you sort of step into hit men and then they start to move, so you sort of hit in their rhythm, and that's why they're able to hit this kote, because they were planning to do the degote in the first place. All right, so you've followed their rhythm, which is why you've fallen into the trap of being able to be hit by the degote there. Okay, here's what it is. Okay, so I understand that when we get to the point where you're at, a few years into Kendo, you know, probably around sort of Shodan level, maybe Nidan, getting towards Nidan, right? That Gyakudo looks cool and fun, all right? But Gyakudo is a very difficult waza to achieve an ippon with. And now, listen, when I was competitive, like, you know, when I was still actively competing, Gyakudo was I would consider it one of the more useful techniques for me. I was able to score quite a lot of ippon with it. But that's because I really understood how to use a Gyakudo. And I think the problem is lots of people use Gyakudo as this kind of like a kind of fire and forget missile with no like foundation. Do you understand what I'm saying? See it all the time, and I'm talking of all levels. I've seen. I better not do the air quotes. High-graded people do that as well, where there's no sort of understanding or appreciation for why they would want to do the Gyakudo at that point. And to get the ippon for any dowaza and any technique really, but particularly dowaza, it's much harder to pull off a door strike at an appropriate opportunity that's going to result in the ippon. It's not the type of waza that can easily just be the ippon because you hit the target. Okay, so what happens here is and the reason I'm stressing this is because it's a very dangerous waza. Okay, in that it exposes you to atouchi, a follow-up strike. Okay, so first off, almost never would you try to attack Gyakudo against a person that's moving backwards. Okay, like this, they're moving backwards. You're never going to get the distance, all right? Gyakudo is for people whose feet have stopped moving, okay? It's for people whose feet have stopped moving, they're planted, and they're blocking this way. Now, your opponent's blocking, that's fine, but they're moving backwards, so you can't hit, see? Miles away. And now, all they have to do is drop the shinai down onto your men. It's a very easy one for them, okay? So, the reason this is the reason I'm making a point of this is because I think it is a really, like, common practice. People just fire out Gyakudo, like, randomly. And then it's kind of... I talked about this before. It's kind of irresponsible. I'm not saying yours is particularly, but, you know, Gyakudo can be their dangerous strike, not just because you might get a counter-attack, but, like, if you don't set it up properly, they don't raise their hands, stuff like that, you can really hurt somebody. So you have a responsibility in the Shiai, even in the Shiai, to not injure your partner. If you cause an injury that's your fault, then you get disqualified, all right, because you have a responsibility, okay? Now, I'm not at all saying that you were acting dangerously here. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying this for the benefit of other people who might be watching more than anything. But I'm not, you know, I don't want to discourage you from using Gyakudo as a waza because it is an important waza in Kendo. What I am saying is that if you're going to use it, then you don't just throw it out there and hope it lands, right? It's just not that kind of waza. All right. It relies so much on the initial semi. The more than half of the importance of a Gyakudo strike, especially a Tobikomi Gyakudo like this, is on the setup rather than the strike itself. Yeah. So as I say, you would never use it against an opponent who's retreating. Okay, it's just not useful. I think you did well to follow it up with a strike after that, though. Yeah, this is good. All right, it's just it lacked accuracy, right? Let's watch again. Did I skip past it? Where's that Gyakudo bit? There it is. Okay. Yeah. So here, look, I'm not going to keep harping on about this Gyakudo, but you see how you've tried to set it up? I appreciate you've tried to set it up, right? But you see here where you stepped in and raised up like this? They started to move back as they blocked. That's the time to bail on the Gyakudo. Just give up on the idea. Right, it's not going to work here because they're running away. All right? But then after that, we made this follow-up strike. It's not quite good enough, but I think it was good to do it. So well done. Okay. Overall, you have a tendency to lean to the left. Yeah, you can sort of see it, right? So I really want you to try to get out of this habit of having your feet flat on the floor and just walking around the place. People often ask me in Kendo Rant, if I could go back to my younger self, what advice should I give? And it's this, it's take more care and place more importance on accurate and correct footwork, because it can't be overstated that, you know, how important it is. It really can't. So I can see here when you're facing the camera, you've got this sort of lean to the left, your left, camera right, yeah. So because your footwork is like non-existent when you're in Tsubazerii, you can't create the chance to hit the Hikiwaza at all, yeah? So that's why when you want to do it, you can't. You don't have the distance, you don't have the opportunity, you don't have the ability to create the strike, okay, that's accurate. It comes down to your footwork. This walking stuff, yeah? So there we have it again, right? So look. You just haven't sold this enough to get the point, right? In terms of, I don't mean the strike, I mean, you haven't sold the setup enough to get the strike. Now, the good thing is the opponent wasn't moving back in this point, right? But like, you took it for granted that they were going to freeze and open for Gyakudo. Well, by the time you're here, all right, now they can see that you're coming for Gyakudo and they're not fully up yet. So it's coming back down, that, right? Those hands are coming back down because they can see, look, if we stop at this point, you're not coming for anything but Gyakudo at this point, right? And then the hands are only here. So the Gyakudo's not even open yet, right? This can't be the Gyakudo Ippon. I understand. You see, I don't even think you hit the target. See, I told you, the hands came straight down, blocked you, yeah? So, because you got the rhythm totally off. And look, I'm saying this because she said I could be harsh with you, all right? But I'm also saying it because this isn't just you. This is like 90% of people that try to hit Gyakudo. It's like, just like completely focused on their own intention to hit the Gyakudo, not anything about how they can produce the opportunity to strike it accurately and in a way that's going to be valid and meet the criteria of Yuko Daitotsu, right? So what you have to do here, there has to be more connection with the Shinai, right? You have to make them think that you're going to hit the men. Then from there, that's when you have to go for the strike. And they have to be like this, convinced that you're coming for the men or the kote, so they're blocking like this. They have to be like this, right? They can't just be like this. They have to be, whoa, like that. Bam, then you hit the good Gyakudo there, you're going to get the Ippon, possibly, right? But if you kind of start at far distance and then just dive in like this, then they're just going to go, oh, nope, like this partner did here, okay? So then there's no point overselling it now. So now what you're doing is you're sort of wasting time and energy trying to sell this Gyakudo Ippon when you can see directly in front of you, Shinpan ain't having it. He's not keen, right? So what you're doing instead is you're wasting time trying to sell a Gyakudo Ippon, clearly not the Gyakudo Ippon, and because it didn't hit the target. And now I don't know what's about to happen, but what I will say is if you did this against somebody that was very experienced, they're going to hit you now. They're going to hit you now, all right? And you're going to really struggle to deal with it. Especially if your feet are flat on the floor walking again, right? Okay, so that's exactly what happens. They tried to hit you, yeah? Okay? That was a good man. Now, going to say about it is it was a bit uppy downy, right? Great timing. But if we look at the mechanics of it, see how you sort of jump up, all right? Now, you don't have a lot of space, so don't want you to jump forward either. You do have to hit this on the spot as they're coming at you, but you want to try not to go up and down like this, and you see bam on the spot. It's quite advanced, quite difficult, right? So I'm not gonna sort of push you too hard on that. But what I will say is that was a really good ippon. So well done. Okay. So let's have a look here again. So look, this is. I like that you went for the nuki-do here. It was you had the good opportunity to make the ippon, but then like the strike is just far too low quality. Like it's hands only, and just you stay on the spot and then just pirouette. All right. You should be hitting the door and then moving forward. Yeah, bam, that way, past, turn around, zanshin. Then you might have the chance to get the ippon, but just bam and turn around on the spot. It's not. It doesn't look like the door ippon at all. Okay. Okay, so 1-1, so I guess we're going to enter. Okay, I'll leave the Jakido alone now because I said enough about that. This is almost, but like it lacked the Kikentai no Ichi, right, to be able to really be considered ippon. So I really want to stop just walking around with your feet flat on the floor, okay? Impossible for you to make the strike from that position in terms of footwork, okay? Okay, so you know what? I think this is a reasonably good attempt at Hikido. To be honest with you, the problem is, right? Your footwork. All right, problem is footwork. Yeah. Hikido is like a super useful hikiwaza, but it's really hard to get ippon with because, like Gyakudo, well, any do ippon, but especially a do ippon, it has quite a high technical bar, right? And what's happened here, right? You've opened it up quite nicely. You made a good opportunity, but look at the position your feet are in when you decide to make the strike. Like one's off pointed to the side like that, and then the other's like this, right? So you're in an L shape in terms of your footwork, right? Then you give them a push, which is fine. And then you hit, but there's no humikomi. No humikomi, all right? So what's happening here, right, is you're sort of just moving back with your upper body and just hitting out with your arms, right? So this cannot be considered Kikentai no Ichi, okay? So it can't be the valid ippon, right? Because that's one of the basic criteria, right? One of the things about doing Hikido, and the reason that the humikomi is important when you do the Hikido is that it's a fantastic way to unify your sword and your body together and allow your body weight to influence the impact of the strike. Okay, yeah, you use your body weight; it transfers via your fumikomi into the shinai. and makes your strike sort of unified. Yeah, and then of course you have your spirit, and you can have the Ippon. But this isn't there, because what we're doing here is we're sort of starting to run backwards and then just hitting out with our hands. So it's not unified. Okay, it's not unified. We haven't used our feet to not only create the chance but execute the strike. All right, it's a shame. It's a shame. And as this is called the Dan Open category, as per the title of the video, it can't be given as the Ippon. If this was the Q level Shiai, then this could be considered the Ippon based on the opportunity and accuracy. But it doesn't meet a high enough bar for Kikentai no Ichi for it to be a valid strike. Shame. Right, I just would give up. I just don't do that again. All right. I'm telling you, right, as a person that when I was third dan thought that this kind of katate men was cool, it's not. All right, it's not. It's super hard to get the Ippon. It's just unlikely. All right. I'm just going to leave it at that. Just leave that for now. You can start doing katate men when you're fifth dan. After that, you can. If you still think that it's cool and appropriate, then knock yourself out. Now here, right? I'll tell you what. I'll give you something back now, right? Because I was just turning the screw on the katate men there. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll give you credit here. This is a well-timed attempt at Gyakudo, right? Nuki Gyakudo. Sorry if there's bad background noises. I live near an airbase, so they're testing airplanes. If there's a... Okay, I think the plane's gone now. I'm not sure if it was picked up on there or not, but it was quite kind of distracting for me to talk over it. So anyway, what was I saying? So this Gyakudo, okay, timing-wise isn't terrible. Now, the issue is they came for men. They came for kote, sorry. If they come for men, like, this could have been the pretty good men nuki gyakudo. Right? It's not amazing from a technical point of view, but like timing-wise, if they'd come for men, this would have been kind of cool, all right? So I'll give you that, all right? So that makes up for that silly katate men before, all right? So bin off the katate men, all right? But let's work on the gyakudo if you want to use it, all right? I've got a video about gyakudo, actually. Give it a watch. Look, after 3 years of Kendo, right? After 3 years of Kendo, you're doing super well, all right? Let me recap on that, all right? You're doing super well after 3 years of Kendo. This degote was almost, this is a good chance, good timing. Here, all right? It didn't hit, but it was good, all right? In terms of the timing of it, okay? So almost. Okay, so that was a bit dangerous, right? Because what happens here is, because you walk in, you can't respond to your opponent. Your hands up slightly, and they manage to hit your kote. All right. Now, luckily, they don't get the ippon for it. All right. Oh boy, it looks like they popped out the Shiai also. Is what it is. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so again, this is right. So you know what, right? This This men's strike was all right as well, but because you're kind of going up and down, you don't get enough impact, right? So it's hard for him to lift it as he can. Because your body's not engaged with the strike. So I would say part of the problem with that is like, see, like your footwork here, it's not quite right, is it? You're not going to push your hips forward here. You're going to push them upwards, and that's the issue. I don't want to keep talking about Gyakudo. Look, this is one of the. This is almost a better one. But again, the problem is you haven't set it up well enough still. Yeah, there's no like real threat before. So by the time, by the time you're halfway through it, they've noticed the hands are coming back down. Almost. It's quite a good follow-up strike. Okay, so this as well, like, we don't want to be, like, see how the footwork's kind of, look, I'm going to say this again because you said I could be harsh and I want the best from you, all right? I want the best for you, but your footwork's just too lazy overall, all right? It needs to be more accurate, it needs to be sharper, and it needs to work more, all right? Okay, yes, good in it. So what happened here is feet are sort of not engaged in the Shiai. Your body's planted, feet stop moving, bring your hands up to defend, and you get hit on the kote. Okay? So that's because, like I say, your foot. This is all around your footwork. I'm sorry, it just is. All right. If you really focus on improving your footwork, making it accurate, and I know it's boring practicing Ashisabaki. It doesn't sound cool like doing katatemen, gyakudo, and stuff like that. But it's really what separates the strong players from the ones that are not so strong. All right. So if you really want to be good and successful at kendo, honestly, I can't stress this enough. I didn't figure this out until a lot later than I should have. It's all about the accuracy of your footwork. All right. That's the coolest thing, right? That's the coolest thing. Not what waza is this waza or that waza. The coolest thing are the players that have got that laser accurate footwork. Because it's hard to achieve, but it makes such a huge difference in the quality of the kendo in their matches. All right? That affects how their semi affects their partner. It affects their ability to create opportunities, and it affects their ability to execute techniques. It's huge. It's really huge. So really, that's what you need to do. Okay? Good match. All right? Good match. Know what we need to work on? Mainly footwork. All right? For 3 years, you're doing amazing. Really, really good. Really, really good. Been off the kata de men. Just forget that is a thing, because it's not really. All right? And then focus on your footwork, all right? Watch my video on Gyakudo if you want to start hitting Gyakudo, all right? Don't just throw it out there, out of nowhere. Understand how to make the chance for the Gyakudo, all right? And then you can think about using Gyakudo, all right? And, yeah. I wish you the best of luck. I know that this tournament is in the UK, so if there's ever a chance, for me to practice with you, or if you see me, then I'm more than happy to give you advice in person as well. But I wish you the best with your progress. So good job. Right, second submission. Let's have a look. It says, Hi Fish Sensei, thank you for your contribution to the Kendo community. I love watching your feedback videos and learn a lot from them. Good. I've been practicing Kendo for 1.5 years and I'm currently second kyu. Okay. I regularly watch the All Japan Kendo Championships and draw inspiration from Ando Sho, Matsuzaki Kenshiro and Iwabu Hikaru. Great. They're all fantastic, amazing players. I am the left person at the start of the video. The few things I've been working on but still struggling with. My datotsu often goes upwards instead of forward. I tend to wait instead of applying semi and sasoi to execute ojiwaza. I find it most difficult being patient without hesitating. I'd appreciate your feedback and suggestions you have to help me improve. Okay, let's have a look, shall we then? All right, so you're on the left side here. Let's have a look. Now, look, the first thing I'm going to say, right, is your second kyu, you've been doing Kendo for 1.5 years. I ain't too worried about your application of semi and sasoi, by the way. Sasoi is an invitation, all right? Let's have a look. This is 7 minutes of video. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing. Right, I tell you what's going on straight away with your datotsu going upwards is your kamae is slight. This is quite a common thing. It's super subtle, but your kamae is slightly leaning backwards. It's not, but it has that feeling, all right? Has that feeling. It's not, it's straight, but it's not forward, all right? So I think your knees are probably a little bit too bent. I would push your hips back slightly, like 1 centimeter. For where you're at straight away, I can tell from your first strikes. Your fumikomi is, you know, you're getting there with that. You've got a good understanding of it. It's coherent. It's cohesive. It's good. Come on, it's not too bad, too far. I probably spoke a bit too soon on it. It's probably a bit harsh there. Make sure you're in the frame on here. There we go. All right, that was perfectly fine, wasn't it? All right. It's a pretty good kaishido. Yeah, don't mind that. It's all right. I'm not sure about this. If you know what I mean. But I'm not going to be too harsh on you. I'm guessing you're pretty young. I don't think you gave me your age. All right, but from the look of it, yeah. All right, look, I'm not gonna beat you up over that, all right? Menhimo look a little bit long, 40 centimeters or less. Let's just skip on a little bit, right, so that we can watch various parts. Okay. Okay, I think what I'd like to see here, I'd like to see a more aggressive hunt for Ippon. There's a long time here if you like not. This is Keiko, right? It's not a Shoba, right? Or is it? I don't know. But so one thing I would say, right, is for your Keiko, there's a lot of breaks in concentration. Like between strikes. Like now. So this men's strike wasn't that great. This one seemed a lot more disjointed than the others, right? Because your foot lands well ahead of your shinai. Right, but okay, fine, right? You want to try and do the kime, fine. Okay, fine. pat to kamae, and then next seme. But instead, there's like a mental reset here where you sort of go, whew, all right? It's a lot harder to do keiko like that, but like I said, I think you're pretty young. Now, if you're not, like, look, if you're under 30, then you need to keep the concentration, definitely. And definitely, if you're, you know, definitely if you're under 30. And I'm being super generous there, to be honest. Should really say under 35. Because what happens is everything just ends up being one shot. You know what I mean? Like, hit, stop, reset sort of thing. Like here, bam. Now we've lost concentration. There's no route. And I'm not saying you have to immediately do a strike, but look, I can tell from your footwork, everything's just gone. You're not looking for a strike here. You're looking to separate. And I'm saying this because look, you're clearly quite talented, and you've put a lot of work in for a year and a half. All right, you're way above second Q level. All right, you wouldn't have a problem with IQ Shodan, no problem at all. All right, but if you change your mental approach to your keiko at this point, then to what I'm saying, where you can try to connect each technique to the next one. And I'm not talking about Renzoku Waza just hitting. What I'm talking about is from here, yeah, like this. Say you go for man, yeah, kime, man, and then come on, next seme. You connect the seme, then no chance of hikiwaza, separate seme. Yeah, you try to keep that connection of the seme as much as possible, even between the strikes, then your improvement and the quality of your kendo will raise much, much faster. So from a technical point of view, it's not too bad where you're at, considering your experience. All right? It's super hard though, because it's super physically challenging to do that, and mentally taxing too. See, so like here, right? Because you're kind of in between thoughts when your partner comes to the kote. So your atoichi is like unable to be like good. It's kind of an afterthought. It's kind of half-hearted, you know? Whereas if you sort of switched on here, bam, when they come, bam, this way, yeah? See, like this, right? Strike at the kote and come in. I can see it. I can see it from the outside. Your concentration goes, oh, kote. Start again, right? Okay, and then it builds up. Then wazana, like that. When it wants to be like, bam, no, okay, then next one. Until you make something that's really, you know. Of course, you can't do this for like 3 whole minutes, 5 whole minutes, 7 whole minutes. You can't do that a whole time. But you should at least try to connect that concentration until you make the good ippon. It's hard though. See, I see it there. Bam, it's gone. Yeah? I think you have got an issue with your Kikentanichi on your men strikes as well though. Because look, your foot is landing well ahead of your shinai. And if anything, it should be the opposite. The shinai should land first in slow motion. Like when you watch it in real time, it's roughly the same time, but if you watch it in slow motion, the shinai should land first. Kamae is alright, actually. So it looks better than it did at the beginning. Now it's starting to look a little bit more, you know. Okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, you know, it's like, Like, what's the plan here? What's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of you and your partner sort of doing all this stuff, but like, okay? What are you preparing for? It's not really easy for me to understand. I guess maybe you're waiting for that Kaishido again, it looks like, because then it didn't come and then you kind of end up getting flustered. So I guess that's what it is. But you see, all right. The reason that I think this is a bit above the level that you're at right now, but I'm going to say it anyway, all right? You mentioned you were struggling with the semi and the sasoi, right, to get the ojuas, and you felt like you was waiting, right? The reason is because your opponent realizes that you want to do the kaishido, and if they don't hit, nothing happens, right? So they're not going to hit, yeah. So when I was coaching my daughter before the WKC, one of the words that we worked on a lot was men suriage men. And I was trying to communicate to her that, you know, you can't just wait for it. And the way to do it is the semi has to be applied in such a way that the opponent feels that if they don't react in some way, they're going to get hit. Okay? So what that means is that if I want to do the suriage men or the kaishido, it doesn't matter, right? I'm going to step in as if I'm going to hit. I'm coming to hit you. And then either they're going to do usually one of three things. One, they're going to try and hit first, right? Because they don't want to get hit. That's the ideal situation. And that's my sasoi, right? Sa, I'm coming for you. Sa, pam, pam, that way, right? Well, there's four things they could do. That's one. Two, they'll try and block, all right? Oh, I don't like this. And then I'm going to hit where it's open, right? Three, they're going to retreat. And then I'm going to keep coming. And four is they're going to not necessarily react, obviously. And that might be because they've got a counter plan, or it might be that they don't really know what to do. All right. And that's the point where I'm going to try and find out a little bit more information. And if I feel like I've got the chance to hit, I'm going to hit. And if I hit, then they're going to know that if they don't react in that situation, they're going to get hit. All right. So that's why it's not waiting. It is me informing them that if they don't do something, I'm going to hit them. And if they do something, and what I want is for them to do something, right? That's a tough thing. It's above where you're at right now. But it's still important. See, I can see from, like, so again, you keep just stepping back. Like, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go, right? So, you know, it's one thing gaining your distance, but you can't just keep doing that, right? You know, like, if they're going to come forward, all right, it's great. That's good, right? So the problem is, I think one of the other reasons you're struggling with your audio as that is because you only want to do it when you're ready to do it, right? And it means that you're not ready to do it when you need to be ready to do it, okay? So what happens is when they come in to want to hit you, you just start retreating because you're not ready yet, like mentally prepared for it yet. So you have to improve that as well, so that you're not just keep walking back. Woo. So there's nowhere to go. At the end of the day. Okay, right. So are we going to get like an Ippon Shovu or something like that? You see what I mean? Like, you keep coming backwards. You step in and then you run out. And you step in and then you run away. You step in, oh no, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, why are you stepping in the first place? You know, you have to commit to these decisions, especially Jigeiko. Look, it doesn't matter so much you get hit, all right? You have to make your decision and stick to it. Step in, see what's going on, all right? If it doesn't you know, if you need to step back, then you can step back. But what you're doing is you're bailing before you really have any information. It's a shame. So like this Kaishido, it's not Ippon. This is Shiai, it's not Ippon. Because it's like incidental Kaishido. Right? It's exactly what I just said before. You've only focused on doing the Kaishido. So you just keep going backwards, hope that they're going to hit at some point. When they hit, that's when you're going to do your door. This is what you're talking about in your own message about it being waiting and why you can't get your Sasoi to work. And that's why you'll hit door like this in Shiai and you won't get the Ippon and you wonder why. Lots of people do. Why didn't, you know? And it's because it's like kind of incidental. You didn't really bring this waza about. You just waited for it to come off. So, you know, and it really looks that way because you step in. Oh, he didn't come yet. Step in. Oh, he didn't attack yet. Oh, he didn't attack yet. When's he going to attack? Oh, now he did. Ba-bam. Yeah. You know, you're gonna really struggle to get the Ippon in that scenario. Okay. Let's move this across a little bit. There we go. Sharpen up that footwork. I think it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Is that even on the screen? Yeah, you're not going to get the Ippon here. This is not the Kaishido Ippon. Two reasons. One, like the posture is terrible. Okay. Yeah, because you haven't set up this waza. You're trying to perform it in an extremely cramped space. So you're trying to squeeze it in. Right, because you haven't been in control of the timing of this waza. All right, so that's why it turns out like this, and it can't get the Ippon. All right? So it's about, how can I say? You need to be bolder, you need to be more courageous, and you need to be more decisive in your approach. Okay, I want to do Kaishido. Right, then he has to attack me. Come on then. No? Fine. Bam! Yeah? Or, right, I want to do Kaishido. He has to attack me. Okay, come on then, let's see. No? How about now? Oh, he's moved back. Oh, no, he didn't move back. Well, he's got to attack me at some point. No, he's not going to, okay? Bam! This is, you know, not, okay, I want to do the Kaishido. Let's step in and see if he can attack me. No, he didn't. How about now? No, he didn't. No, he's not. Oh, no, he did. Bam! Yeah, it's totally different. Okay, it's totally different. Now, at the same time, this isn't second Q showdown level stuff either. But, you know, you wanted to use that waza. This is how you have to use it. Okay? See, like, I don't feel like any sort of credible threat from you here, right? It's like, I don't know what you're, you know. Have to be more confident in that approach. I think it's sort of, I don't know if you took this video with the purpose of sending it to me for this, so we could talk about your Kaishido, or, and that's why you're doing it a lot, or whether you're just over relying on it. If it's the case that you did a lot of it on purpose so you could show it in this video, you know, cool, no probs. But if that isn't the case, this is your normal Keiko, like, you're over-relying on that at your point, right? I want to see you hitting men and kote and stuff like that. I want to see you hitting shikakewaza. Because frankly, you know, ojiwaza is like, you have to understand shikakewaza before you can and it explains a lot, actually, as to why you're struggling to get them to operate in your timing, is because I don't think you've got enough focus on your shikakewaza. Because it's so important to get a good understanding of shikakewaza before you start messing with ojiwaza, and not start messing with it, but before you can start properly improving your ojiwaza or applying it. And that's why I've heard, you know, high-level senseis saying that, you know, ojiwaza is really from 5th dan, and I can understand that. I can understand that. Like, you shouldn't focus on ojiwaza until after you pass 5th dan. I've heard the sensei say that, and I understand it. I'm not necessarily saying that is a good thing to do, but like, your main focus does need to be the shikakewaza. So yeah, I just want you to focus more on the shikakewaza so that it can improve your ojiwaza, if that makes sense. Your strike's totally one-handed as well, isn't it, right? So, look, like I say, you're trying to do it in a cramped space. That's why, because you're not in control of the timing. So there we go. In your case, that's where I'm landing with it. Okay. Try to think about your approach. All right. Focus more on the shikakewaza. All right, and try not to break the concentration so much after hitting. All right. And I think you'll overall improve a lot more. Look, 1.5 years in second Q, you're doing super well. Really, really good. All right. Probably still need tweaking on that Kikentai no Ichi, all right? But you're moving in the right direction, all right? So I encourage you to keep it up. Thank you very much to both the people who sent the videos in today. If you'd like to send a video in for this, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube. That's the best way. Put it as an unlisted link, or you can put it as public if you want, but don't set it to private or I can't see it. Then send me the link to mail@KendoStar.com with a little description of what's going on in the video, which side you are, what's the context and stuff like that. And it'll really, really help. Okay, so fantastic. Thank you for joining me for today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, shop at KendoStar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.